Yo, 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 what is the word, my beautiful black people? I've been pondering for a while now the shift in narrative that I've noticed here in the black sector of social media. And I've been wanting to do this video for quite a while, but what kept me from releasing it earlier was because I knew that there was a certain piece of this puzzle that I was missing to complete my commentary. And I just couldn't put my finger on it until a couple of days ago. Now, y'all have heard me bring this guy's name up before, O'Shea Duke Jackson. He released a video, and I didn't even see the video. I just saw the thumbnail. All right, now, the title of the video is something like, Guy Catches His Girlfriend Cheating on IG Live. And it's a split screen, okay? On the left-hand side, it's this young black dude. He's sitting there just looking defeated, like the walls of his world has just come crumbling down. And on the right side, there's this girl. Apparently, it's his girlfriend. She's covering her mouth and covering her face like, like she had just been busted. Now, the thing about it is that this is a white girl. So this young black man found his girlfriend, a white girlfriend, cheating on him on IG Live. Now, when I saw this and I thought about this video that I had been planning on to do, I saw this and I was like, that's the piece that I was looking for. Now, I talked about the shift in narrative that I've seen in the black sector of social media. All right. One of the big things right now, one of the big subjects in black social media is the Passport Brothers. Now, black men, all right? And their mission statement is to say, hey, black man, you don't have to take all the crap that you take from these westernized women. This feministic, overbearing, self-entitled, delusional Western woman. You don't have to take that. What you do is you get your passport. You go to a foreign land to find yourself a traditional woman, a good woman. These westernized women, you don't want anything to do with them. So that's the mission statement, right? So I got to thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, well, where did the shift happen? How did the shift happen? Because a few years ago, these guys were saying something totally different. You see, I've talked about the gender war within the black sector of social media. I've talked about this for quite a while. So a few years ago, the narrative was totally different. See, you had an army of black men and women coming to social media every day, all day. Basically, both sides were preaching the same thing. That white people are the answer to your problems. That's what I got out of it. Because you had this army of black men, day in and day out. They was coming to social media and they were saying, hey, black man, these black women are trash. If you want to find yourself a good woman, go get you a white woman. They're great. And then on the other side of the table, the other side of the room, you had this army of black women coming to social media every day, telling the rest of the sisters, hey, sister, these black men are trash. If you want to find yourself a good man, find yourself a white man. They'll take care of you. They're great. Now, You people know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. It was not that long ago. All right. So I got to thinking, well, hold up. Where did this drastic uh, change in narrative, where did it exactly start to shift? To where we've gotten to the point to where you have these same black guys now saying that uh, westernized women as a whole are trash. Because you got to remember, people, when they were saying this stuff, when they was putting these white women on pedestals about how much better they were than black women, they were talking about white women right here in the Western world. So how did it go from them pumping up these westernized white women as being just the best women to be with, to now saying that westernized women as a whole, including these same white women, should be left alone? Where did the shift happen? So I got to thinking about it, and I thought to myself, you know what? I think I know where it happened. I think I know where it started. You see, during the time that these guys was coming on social media, pumping up these white women as being the best women to be with, well, during that time, there's this thing called MGTOW that was coming on the scene. MGTOW, men going their own way. Now look, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but the way I understand it, MGTOW was actually started by white men. So if you look at MGTOW these days, there's just as many black men involved in that so-called movement as they are white men. Okay, so that means that black men jumped on board with this white man's movement. Now, see, this is where a little critical thinking comes into play. Because if white men started the MGTOW movement, MGTOW being an acronym, men going their own way. So if MGTOW was started by white men, then you got to ask yourself, what women were these white men talking about going their own way from? Yes. You see, you got to connect the dots. These white men were talking about going their own way from their women, from white women, the same white women, westernized white women, that these black men were coming on social media every day putting on pedestals as being the greatest. So what happened? Like I said, there's just as many black men screaming MGTOW as there are these white men. What happened was these black men jumped on board. They got to listening to these white boys talking about all the ills of their women and dealing with their women. It wound up evolving. Now we done got to the point to where these same black men, instead of pumping up these white women as being so great, they're now saying westernized women as a whole should not be dealt with. To go to another country to find yourself a traditional good woman. And as a side note, the thing is that white men had been doing this forever, okay? Just think about it. We all heard the term mail order bride. Who exactly were getting these mail order brides? It wasn't black men. That whole term was created because of white men. You know what I'm saying? Going out of the country and getting these foreign women. So I actually heard a white man talk about this. They were the first passport brothers, which is true. But yeah, that's the point that we're at now. These black men jumped on board of the MGTOW movement. They went from pumping up these white women like they were just the best thing since sliced bread. They listened to these white men talking about the ills of their women, the same women that these black men were pumping up as being so great, right? They jumped on board the MGTOW movement, listened to these white boys. Now, years later, they're saying westernized women as a whole are trash. They shouldn't be dealt with. Go out of the country. Just like the white men that they jumped on board with. Go out of the country to find yourself a good woman. And as a side note, let me say this right here. You know, for years, black women have been getting banged on and talked about for the longest time about jumping on board the feminist movement. Y'all had no business jumping on that movement. That was a white woman's movement. Well, the thing is, now these sisters can turn around and say the same thing about you. You had no business jumping on that white man's movement. They can turn around and say the same thing about you now. All right. Now, earlier I was talking about the one piece that I knew that I was missing to complete my commentary. Well, that piece is social media. Now, that's the vague answer. But let me explain. You see, everything is uploaded to social media. People upload everything. You name it, you will find it on social media, right? Well, remember, I talked about that video that O'Shea Duke Jackson did. Like I said, I haven't seen it, but I saw the thumbnail. Let's recap this again. Man catches a girlfriend cheating on him on Instagram Live. Young black man catches his girlfriend, a white woman, cheating. You know what I'm saying? On Instagram Live. The thing is this, people. This isn't the first time there is video footage of a black man catching his white woman cheating on him. The same group of women that they was pumping up years ago, running to, saying that they were so much better than black women, right? But the thing is this, once again, got to use a little bit of critical thinking when I bring this up. You see, they was talking about running to these from black women to white women, because white women don't display the same type of behavior. They're not prone to the same behaviors that black women are, right? That was their whole reason for saying, get yourself a white woman. Well, like I said, we have social media. You have this video that O'Shea Duke Jackson did, and you have a collection, video after video, for years of black men in these relationships with these white women, catching them cheating on them, catching them talking noise about them, catching them trying to set them up in some kind of way. Whatever you can think of, there is video footage that goes years back of this type of footage, okay, of these white women doing these black men dirty. Now the thing is this, these same black men were basically talking about getting yourself a white woman. Why? Because they're so-called better than black women. But you have all of this video footage of these guys catching these same white women that they was putting on pedestals, doing them dirty. Okay? Doing the same types of things that these guys claimed black women were prone to doing. Like I said, you have to connect the dots. And that's why we're at the point that we're at now. To where you have these same types of black men that years ago was talking about getting yourself a white woman. Once again, I want to point out that these same white women that these cats was lusting after were from right here in the westernized world. That's why it done went to from that to now these guys are saying, hey, westernized women as a whole should not be dealt with. All of those things that I just mentioned have led to this moment in time and this whole Passport Brothers era. Now look, I'm going to ask y'all for a very rare request. The few people that come across this video, share it. Because I haven't heard anybody cover this topic the way I just covered it. All right? Share this video. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.